After the previous run where I defeated the Black Blight using only Bird Wyverns and pegged the hell out of Pietru's skull, I wanted to see if the same could be achieved here in the second installment of the Monster Hunter Stories series. Following on the last run's rules, here is a refresher. Bird Wyverns only for Monsties, weapons and armors. Exception for talismans. No items in battle, except for paint bombs, and no items carrying an effect in battle, for example, mists. No duplicate Monsties, unless for story advancement I can only use Bird Wyvern's field skills. No allies in battles, if forced to have one I need to discard them ASAP. Note from future Nerala, turns out I made this rule for no reasons as it cannot be applied. I still mention it because I do mention it in my script. Starting the run, I create my character. Given I have access to Mizutsune hair, I create another character based off the Bobble Fox before realizing that the voices are in English. After changing the voices back to proper Japanese, I go to get myself an egg. Now, yes, the tutorial has me break a few rules, I don't like it, but I will accept it for a tutorial. Plus, kinda uses a Velocidrum and a Puke sword, both Bird Wyverns, so I will accept it for now. I beat up the Kuluyaku and hatch one from an egg, granting me my first 2 Monsties of this run. Now, out of the tutorial, I first craft myself a Kuluyaku armor. I still lack zennies for weapons, so I head out to collect the necessary resources for a few quests, but then find a chest with 1000 zenny inside, enough for me to craft the Kuluyaku bow. Going back out to get more resources, I fight a few herbivores, large monsters, and even snatch a few eggs on the same expedition. I was lucky to find a rare den where I stole a young Kut-ku's egg, and with the acquired resources, I could make the remaining Bird Wyvern weapons available at this moment. Not that it would be long before I unlock more. I was heading out to continue the main quest, but found 2 rare den that spawned right next to town, but neither had any interesting eggs inside. Next boss is a Velocidrum, a common monster with very little to comment about. Like my run on the first Monster Hunter Stories, I will only skim over common monsters like Velocidrum unless they give me a proper challenge, or else we'll be here for 3 hours due to the amount of boss fights. Next, we have to track down a Kut-ku, and Kanya is back in our party for a few fights as I am unable to tell her to make like a tree and leave. Before heading towards the main quest, I take a moment to craft a few armor pieces and weapons as I have a feeling I will need them later. Inside the Everden, we encounter a bull drum, but the fight quickly gets interrupted by an Anjanath. Now, I know it looks like a big turkey, but it is, unfortunately, not a Bird Wyvern. Being a creature on par with Rathalos, we cannot fight this Anjanath yet, so we are forced to run away. So after coming back from that expedition, I received a side quest to craft and equip a bone sword and shield, which I cannot as it is not a Bird Wyvern's weapon. Like last run, I will forbid any such quests asking me to equip anything not from a Bird Wyvern. Next on the menu is the toxic berry lover Puke. Not a difficult fight, especially because Kana still refuses to fuck off my party and heal my Kut-ku. This is part of the reason I want to be rid of allies ASAP. Oh well, at least I got myself a cute Puke, 2 pieces of weapons, and an armor. To To finish the first area, we face the turkey wyvern once more, also known as Engine F. The fight itself is not too hard as long as Kaina doesn't cart. Wait, you carted? You fool! You don't even have the same restrictions I do, yet you get yourself carted? You absolute imbecile! I got ahead of myself. Engine F is a speed turkey that, when it pumps its snout, turns into a power attacker. We meet Anna and are brought to Alcala, finally freeing myself from Kaina and then to the town of Ruto, where I decide to step ahead before I advance to the story and have another follower forced into my party. In the highlands, I try to fight a group of Jaggies led by a great Jaggy, but I'm forced to flee as my Monstie cannot tank 3 enemies at once for now. An hypothesis that was proven true when I found another great Jaggy with only a single Jaggy and won. Now, they did cart me twice, but it proves as the issue was a pack, not the large monster by itself. I then fight a random Kurupeko right after this, with still only 1 heart remaining, leading to the first game over of the run. All because I misread the asshole and expected him to use speed when enraged. Got my revenge right after and smashed his fucking skull in. Before starting the main story in this area, I go and hatch the eggs I snatched from dens in Alcala and get Great Jaggy, Kurupeko, and Blue Yan Kut-ku. I know there are more, but these are the only ones I could get. The others are likely locked behind the story progression. In my party, I replace Yan Kut-ku with its blue variant. For the extra stats, I keep Ranmar as he is the only speed attacker, Kut-ku as he is the only one with a power skill, Puke for his poison, and Kurupeko for his heal. Now ready to continue the main quest, I am tasked in hunting down a wannabe Tokomon, only for another fucker to join me instantly. Believe me, I try to tell him to shove it, but he won't listen. After tracking Fate Tokomon, we find its nest inside the forest and fight it. It wasn't too hard to fight, especially given I remember near the end I could not use Monsties skills while riding them, something I could not in the first game. However, that icicle liquor, Alwyn, did get carded once during the fight. After playing hide and seek with a silly Gravius, I am told by the icicle shover to use the barrel bombs. I swear, I'll shove the barrels in the same hole he shoves his damn icicles. Anyway, the fight went well. He is a technical attacker. I know it doesn't look like one. So focus on power, then speed when he goes mad, and use blunt items to damage his belly to soften him up. Finally, being granted the ability to do the rite of channeling, I select Yan Kut-ku, having forgotten he would give us an Napton off with a healing skill. I try to back out to select Kurupeko to give him the healing skill, but I'm locked. Refusing to give it to silly Yan Kut-ku, I reset the game and come back with my Kurupeko this time and give him the heart healing skill. Yangaruga is next. Finally, I was waiting for this monster. Now, I wish Capcom did not force allies in our party. It would make the game more interesting, I believe. Right now, the main challenge is to not laugh whenever one of these idiot NPC falls from being complete and utter buffoons. Oh well, I at least now have access to Yangaruga eggs and equipment. Returning to town, I create Yangaruga armor, bow, and hammer. And not long after, back from the first story's game, One Eye, here to terrorize even more elder dragons and peck their eyes out. He will be this run's main Monstie once again. As soon as I get my Yangaruga to level 12, unlocking the central gene, I place a rainbow gene there, then unlock the bottom right corner with a stimulant. After this, I give him a speed attack gene to counter power attackers. I also replace his deodorant gene, which prevents sting, a status effect that prevents item usage. Need I explain why this passive is pointless? I replace with an anti-skill seal. I also take this opportunity to increase levels of a few active skills. The bipedal mounted cow, Duramboros, is next on the menu. Simply use speed attacks when he is calm, then switch to power when he gets mad. Be careful of his spinning attack where you believe he is a Beyblade, as it carded my One Eye. And you've got yourself a giant steak. We follow this with a big speedy kitty, also known as Nargacuga. To pet the Nargacuga, first beat up his tail with technical attacks. Then, when he starts hissing, use power attacks until he is knocked out cold. Then drag him home and adopt him. My first attempt against the region boss, Raffian, was going great. I was hitting criticals, I was holding up, but this motherfucker Alwyn, which I must make clear, I tried to kick from the group every opportunity I had, got it 3 times. While I did not even once, causing me to lose the attempt, and this really pisses me off. I lost, not because I played poorly, no, but because this freaking NPC is a complete and utter imbecile. After calming down and deciding to do a side quest to gain a bit of EXP, I fight the immovable boulder and the same scenario repeats itself. I guess babysitting is now the name of this challenge run. Great. To change my mind, I went and created the remaining weapons I had not yet created, thinking that maybe one of these would hold a solution for this dilemma before I am forced to level up. I went back to the first area and fought the Blue Menace. Now, I would normally skip this quest due to how easy it would be, but with Allman's track record as an utter deadweight, I had to make records of this. It went pretty well. I want to say as expected, but I don't expect shit from that pointy-eared imbecile. He's so bad, I am actually wishing for Aegiomon right now. I decided to retry Raffian after that, and I was lucky as she would mainly focus me this time and did not use AoE attacks too often. Yet this cretin got carded twice. At least glad this is over early. The trick is to get good RNG, use technique attack on her until she gets mad, where you use speed attack. I had brought a hunting horn, but turns out it was unnecessary. We hatch Rafa's egg, and I finally am free from that insufferable pointy-eared buffoon. First things first, I had waited until that imbecile left me on my lonesome to fight the real monsters of this area, and intend to do so right now. Or, at least that is what I wanted, but, they're a bit too strong, and I would like to not over-level. I could do it, but if they attack twice, they always use the same attack style, leading to a double attack for hit 1. But hit 2 goes through at full power, leading to a 1-hit KO. Before heading to the next area, I take a bit of time to channel a few genes. First, I give Soothing Below to One Eye to get a healing move. Hopefully this one doesn't suck. Then to Renmar, I give him a Rainbow Gene at the center, unfortunately losing the speed attack. But then I had a new technique and power attacks to compensate. They also have nothing really special. It's just to have more attack options. Also, if you're curious about Rainbow Genes, they're like a free slot that allows you to combo any bingo without breaking them. To avoid freezing in Loloska, I gave my One Eye a cold resistance gene, removing his burn resistance. And it turns out this was a good thing, as Zemtrios proved to be a challenge. Not because I did not know how to handle it, but because my limitations made it so I wasted so many turns, like against Uragan X in the previous title. I nearly lost the fight. I was safe by climbing on One Eye's back. The fight itself is easy. Use power in base form technique when he has his ice armor, and speed when he bloats like a frog. At least I managed to get a great baggie, though it does not have cold resistance, even though it lives in cold areas. He has a brand new speed Monstie, nothing I can't resolve by chopping a popo into delicious bits and shoving the warming gene up my baggie's gene hole. No, I did not eat the popo afterward. Do I look like a monster to you? Right, yes I am. For the arachnophobes looking to squish a big spider, here are the steps. First, take a big hammer, then use all of your power and smash this creepy crawler. When it gets mad, start using technique, unless it seals it with its web. Then climb on a chair and scream like a bitch. Or ride your Monstie like me and peck it to death. Congrats! Now there's holes all over your home. Next time, don't listen to an insane lamia on the internet, idiot. I just realized at this point that I have unlocked expeditions. I don't have a rule for them, so I will feel free to send any Monsties since I need them to gain level to get their higher ranking genes. Also, I have made some Gypsaros equipment. Will no longer mention brand new equipment I make, but just so you know, I will still stick to Bird Wyvern items only. Back to freezing my butt off, but at least it is only a bear off. Piggy here loves mud, so use technical attacks when he isn't covered in it. After he did a little rollover, starts bashing hard, cause with this cold, mud hardens fast. If you're like me and are cold-blooded, ride your Monstie before going into hibernation. Tobikadachi is an easy squirrel. He is in a temperate area, meaning no frostbites. Use stack on regular mode, then when mad, use power and speed when charged. destroyed the tail, and voila, roasted a squirrel for my 17th dinner. Ugh, freezing my internal testes again, and now some creep is flashing his flaccid cock in front of me. Oh wait, that's not a dick, it's a kazoo. That changes everything then. Hit hard in the face until it gets mad, then beat it faster until it releases its thunderous load in your face until it repeats. I forgot to equip my Gipsaurus armor, it would have helped a lot. My first attempt against the Celtas duo ended with Avinia being carded 3 times. But this forced me to look into my available equipment, where I found I had a talisman to protect me from frostbite. Finally, no more freezing. My second attempt was due to its double attack and its fixation and targeting me and one eye. On the third attempt, I crushed these stupid bugs. There's no real trick other than not getting bad RNG. Simply use power when they're divided, speed when united, and if the queen is alone, use technique. This boss always attack twice per turn. So a heart healer, which I did not use, but maybe I should have, could help greatly. Also, destroy the Celtas when they unite ASAP to end the united phase. Though Legiana is a main story boss, he brings no challenge on his own, acting more as a storytelling tool to reveal Razewing Rathalos, which I must say disappoints me. He is so cool, yet we never get to have him at full power and never get to meet one in the main series game. Given we approach the midway point, here is my party stat. I do show Rafa, but it is to compare my actual party to what the game expects you to use. Legiana's rematch is more of the same, except he hits twice while in flight. Blazev's fight is very easy. Power when calm and speed when mad. Then fry the stupid fish, season it, and bon appetit! Cephadrome is the next fishy. Use technique on regular turn, and once he gets mad, use power. He managed to cart me because I expected him to use power like in the first game, which he did not. Also, if you don't use items, a hunting horn with the blast move is perfect when he goes underground. The 3 masked riders were a bit difficult, but once you understand that the riders will use the same attack types as their Monsties, it makes the fight a lot easier. Also, having AoE attacks would have helped greatly. And the Diablos was, and I feel like I'm repeating myself here, just Cephadrome all over again, simply change his main attack to power and raging to speed. The rider and his annoying Ruby Bazarios was a second try, mainly because he kept focusing my one eye on the first try, and I was too stubborn to change Monstie. Yeah, no, I never learned. Second try, I juggled more, which allowed me to eventually ride one eye, leading to my victory. Well, time to repeat myself. Monobolos is a copy of Diablos, which is a copy of Cephadrome. I carted once because my brain whited out due to how repetitive the fight was. I predict in advance 2 more repetitions at least. Next is Black Diablo, so repeat after me. She is a copy of Monoblo's copy of Diablo's copy of Cephadrome. One thing that is not a repetition, Rafa finally has wings, meaning flight is unlocked. As soon as I get control of my character again, I land Rafa as I am not allowed to use him to fly. Then change to one I will also unlock flight and fly towards my favorite area of the game. Why is it my favorite? You'll see. Crimson Kuropeko, and certainly not my reason for liking this area. I simply hate this boss. It attacks twice and even calls for reinforcement. It is a pain in the ass through and through. I failed my first attempt. I will try and get better equipment before trying again. Finally getting an engine F to level 10, I give to my one eye his AoE fire skill so that I can finally have an AoE skill and also a power skill. I also gave him a speed poison and speed paralysis attack. Crimson Assad took me 3 attempts. Attempt 2 failed because I was not paying enough attention and Shitface got mad, which is impossible to tell when rage raid on a red enemy. Anyway, fight goes much easier once there's only one enemy left, but when there are 2, I found the trick is to gain kinship point ASAP, ride your Monstie and right away use your kinship skill. Riding heals for around 100% of your Monstie's HP, divided between both character and a kinship skill prevents the targeted foe from attacking. Luckily, they both have the same attack types. Tech when normal, speed when mad. After gaining a brand new Monstie abuser to my party, I get into a fight with Lagacris. Given his gimmick is nothing much, I'll go over it quickly. He uses power when in normal status, speed when mad, and technique when electrified. Why did Kyle start with below midlife? Mysterious, I guess some random Yangaruga pushed him off a cliff and I had, unfortunately, I ate all the donuts so no healing. Mizutsune's next and is the reason why this is my favorite area. However, it is far from my favorite boss fight for one main reason. How in the fuck am I supposed to tell when he is mad? It is a pink monster. An area with a pink hue, and when he is mad, he turns pink. Which is part of the reason why it took me 3 attempts to win. That and the AoE spam. Now the fight itself. If you don't get spam with his AoE and Cal hits his mark like he hits Monsties, the main trick I found is this. Attack him as much as possible so he turns mad ASAP and stop spamming bubbles. Then, once he is mad, look who he targets for his first attack. Also, find who is fastest in your party. For me, my rider was faster. So when he would target my Monstie, I would do a double tick attack. If he targeted Kyle, fuck Kyle. If he targets the rider, I would use a skill attack so both of Mizu's attacks are reduced, since the rider's skills never trigger a double attack. Once you're able to ride, go ahead, it should heal your party greatly, then use your kinship skill right away. Unless your Monstie is full life or Cal is about to heal you. I also found the best weapon for this is the gun lance because its skills cost no kinship. And there you go, with good RNG you can knock out Mizu and adopt him with your pet Nargacuga. No, he is not dead, we never kill Mizutsunes here. Now with the pink and crimson annoyances gone, I should see when the bosses are mad. And good thing Ragen is here to test. So, this is a boss fought in a volcano, meaning it is hot, meaning wasted turns. Luckily, he is an easy boss. It was a second try due to wasting too many turns due to heat. Here is how you do it. Ragen will begin calm and use power moves, slowly summoning rock bombs. Due to how weak Bird Wyverns are, I cannot destroy them fast enough. So what I do is ride my Monstie, tank the first one, heal, tank the second one, and continue attacking. At this point, he should get mad, changing his attacks to technique. Note that every time he gets mad, he will swipe the party with his tail. Heal, then attack. Eventually, he will stop dropping rocks, so just keep this rotation. Remember to heal every time he gets mad, and voila! Now in the final area, I give my Gendrome brand new tech and power electric moves to cover all types. I also gave my Gibsaurus a few water attacks to inflict status effects. Finally, I gave Kurupeko a healing skill. We begin this final area with an Astalos, second member of the Fated Four, along with Mizutsune. He is a very easy fight. Even with my one eye getting toasty, simply use power when calm, speed when mad, and tech when he's in flight. Also, I did not mention followers for a while, mainly because I gave up on getting rid of them. It seems to be something only available in the post-game, meaning my no ally rule was useless. Brachydios, another easy fight. He is a power attacker that turns to speed when mad. As long as you ride your Monstie, you are safe from any status effects. After a failed attempt against Nergigante, by the way, my favorite Elder Dragon, I decided to finalize One Eye's genes. First, I removed the tech attack, dealing increased damage if an enemy has status. Don't need it, and replaced it with a non-elemental damage boost. Then, I removed my poison speed attack for a non-elemental defense boost. Finally, I removed my fire attacks and reapplied the poison attack I had just removed. All of this giving me a grand total of 7 bingos, 4 neutral and 1 for each attack types, plus 2 free slots for any skills or passive. One of them taken by my healing skill. Before returning to Nergigante, I decided to also add a critical passive, increasing critical rate. After 2 more horrendous attempts where Shovel would act like a brainless Gargua, I decided to go and get some more genes, focusing on poison for One Eye, hoping this would help. With one final attempt, I succeed in defeating Nergi, and it was a close one, thanks to Gargua over there. Moron couldn't keep himself from using the wrong skills continuously, leading to me needing to use a kinship attack so he did not die at the end. How I did it is as follow. Be fucking toxic. He is not poison, poison him. He is calm, poison him with power. He's a spiky kitty, poison him fast. He is angry, poison him with technique. Woo. Lavinus was a second try, mainly because I forgot his attack pattern. When no flames, use speed. When his mouth is ablaze, use technique. When his blade is heated up, use power. Pray to the Sapphire Star, he does not focus. Monstie Beater over there. And you've defeated the third and last member of the Fated Four. The Gameth, the final one, is just a random royal monster in the snowfields. I made 2 attempts on the Ice Agnactor, but due to the freezing temperatures, my party, Cal included, can barely act, so I decided to go do another boss before attempting again. Basilgoose was a surprisingly easy boss, like he only carded me once because he got a critical hit on my rider. Otherwise, it is only a stupid bird thinking itself a World War II bomber. All its AoE attacks are weak. Before going back to Agnactor, I decided to replace the paralysis attack of my one eye with a stronger speed attack from Nergigante. As bosses are typically immune to paralysis, I also gave my Baggy a power type skill in case I need to use it, given it is the only monster in my party with cold resistance. I made 2 more attempts against Agnactor, but due to Frostbite this fight was horrible, forcing me to use my second stimulant on Baggy so I could give him a healing skill. After 4 more attempts, I decided to simply give One Eye a freaking ice resistance because it is either that or I use Hot Mist breaking a rule. Baggy is too weak on his own given he is a 2-star monster while Gangaruga is a 3-star. This is how much 1 star can change how good a Monstie is. Now, after a grand total of 10 attempts, I finally defeated the Agnactor. I think it is time I explain in more details why this boss was so hard. First is, as I mentioned many times, Frostbite, which causes anyone affected to be paralyzed for a turn. So I gave my character a cold resistant amulet and What Eye a ice resistance gene, but I cannot warm up Kyle without cheating on my no item rules. Then is the attack pattern, and oh boy do I have a lot to say. He starts with an ice armor, attacking twice per turn in power type. With a cold Monstie beater, you're not going far, meaning if he is targeted and cold, we both get hit. Yay! Then, in this phase, he loves spamming AoE attacks a lot, sometimes multiple turns in a row. Then, when you break the armor, of which there is no animation for, he turns to take attack, meaning you need to pay attention to his appearance. But after 10 attempts, your mind is in a fog, so you might miss it and take a hit. Yay! And if he gets mad, he uses speed. Nothing to complain here. Except that when he returns to armored form, he will use either an AoE or a powerful typeless single attack, often followed by an AoE. Meaning Kyle is untrustworthy, as you never know if he will act, meaning you often double heal because you don't know if you can trust him. The group of hostile riders that attacks us right after was quickly dispatched as I targeted the Monobloss primarily. The second group took 2 attempts, but like the one before, I focused Tigrex. We are now at the end game. Only 2 bosses are left, Ultra and Razewing Rafa. Rafa was a surprising first try as I tanked Fireball after Fireball, going through each members of my party one by one, switching them as they got wounded, and in the end winning still using only Bird Wyverns. Ultra was defeated on my 6th try. The main issue being Cal needing to be babysat as he would constantly get knocked out. But otherwise, here is how I defeated him. You see, Bird Wyverns may be weak, but they find their strength in number, and this is how I won. On pre-phases, he will use predictable single attacks going from tech to power. Knowing this, I would use a gun lens to charge the kingship gauge of as many Monsties as possible, focusing on Kurupeko for his hurt heal and One Eye as the party leader. On phase 1, he uses 2 power attacks for 2 turns, followed by a charge, then a fire AoE, then a thunder AoE, before refreshing. Here I would use as many speedy attacks as possible until he charged. Then I would heal if I noticed he would knock me down one eye, I would use a kinship attack to then empty my gun lens on him, refill my kinship, and ride again. Then you return to pre-phase where I charge and heal, then it is phase 2, similar to phase 1, but instead he uses speed and for AoE, water and ice, same tactic. Phase 3 is where it goes hard as he uses 3 dragon element tech attacks. Here I would go kinship, discharge, kinship until he lost 1 wing, reducing his numbers of attacks. Then I would repeat the process for the other 3 wings. Phase 4 was the scariest, but this is where all this effort is accumulated and why I brought so many Bird Wyverns. As I unleashed every kinship move I had stored at once, destroying him before he could attack once. Here are the party members that assisted me in this quest. With this ends the tale of my Bird Wyverns, at least until Monster Hunter Stories 3 comes out. As much as I struggled, I loved this challenge and intend on repeating it for the other Monstie families such as Leviathan, Bird Wyverns, etc. Some of them will for sure have it easier, but an easy challenge once in a while can't hurt, right? Given all post-game challenges are either too easy or too long to complete, I will end this video here, especially given how long it is. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.